No call.
Warning, Neo detected. Warning, Neo detected.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome. My name is 12 Gage, and this is my channel, 12 Gage Investigative. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's doing well. I decided to do upload because I didn't feel like going live tonight. I've had an awesome day today. Since this morning, it's gotten better, and I decided to do some journal readings and some commentating on my journal for you guys to get to know me a little better. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to go live because I don't want to answer a lot of questions. And I'm sure in the upcoming lives, I will answer these questions as you asked them. So let's get to that. Hope everybody's doing okay and had a wonderful weekend. I know mine was pretty good. This morning was not all that great, but it is what it is. This was written in 12/27/06. No therapy due to the holiday. So there was no group today because of the holiday season. I really needed one today also, so I will use my old friend Open Diary to get me through it. I was thinking about things that I spoke of in the morning group for my job. I was talking about how one role that you play in a dysfunctional family is the lost child. I was that lost child as well as having to protect the family secret, so therefore also was the hero. I grew up thinking that everything that happened in the house was normal to a sense. I knew that other families weren't like mine, but also felt alliant to the home front. How sick is that? Well, in a little boy's mind, it's not sick, and you do what you feel best is for your family. I've hated my father and mother for a lot of years, and thus needing affirmation from everything known to man under the sun. I seek out comfort in all areas, even little things such as words can get me through the rough spots. I still am sick, even though I've gotten a lot healthier. How I don't act out like I once did. I think about the consequences that are attached to my dysfunction. I spoke about how one time as a child going to get milk from the store and on my way home it fell off my bike and went all over the ground. I was terrified and panicky. I tried everything to keep from having to go home and face the music. Ultimately, I returned home to face the harshness and awaited overspilled milk. All that abuse and all those names and tirades, and people tell me today, you're grown, get over it, let it go. The power of words is so deep that it takes years to overcome, much less the physical stuff. I hate who I've become due to the family I grew up in. I hate a lot about humanity to allow such things to happen to the innocent. In turn, once again, myself. I have violated and hurt. You say forgive it, shall be no more. Shame and guilt, the fabrics of an addict's mindset. Anything can trigger it also. It's not like being sad or depressed because it could be anything. Like today, reading about it and identifying, hey, that is me, like everything else. There's never a clear cut way to work through it. Just positive word to yourself, dealing with it, talking about it. Okay, then what? Because it still stays and lingers and stinks. I needed a group today badly. I feel depleted from the world. Hell, I don't blame people that run from me and who no longer associate with me. I would too if I were healthy, never knowing what is real with me and what is the role. At times I wonder if the rest of the world is this in tune with their every feeling emotion, like a raw person with no skin, feeling every breath of wind and always bumping into something that causes deep gashes. I wish I could puke up this crap and never have to deal with it ever again. I don't wish this on anyone. Insane today, clear tomorrow. You know, at times I pray that the clearness stays more than the insanity. It sucks. It hurts. It penetrates the deepest pores of the soul. Tortures the good angel while the angel fights for air. I succumb to the insanity and I just want to cry, but no tears fall. Ever. I at times wonder, Lord, why is it why is my will so strong? And why doesn't it allow you to take my life and will? Why must I struggle with this so harshly? The punches I have taken in time keep ripping through my flesh when I feel like this. I hear those chants and then I weep. Make it stop. Make it stop. Agony in the hell of the mind. Please pray for me. Like I said, that was an well, that was quite intense from 2006. You know, when you're trapped in a mindset like that, it feels like you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you feel like you just never have control of your life and you just have no understanding. I'm going to show you what a heroin addict's life is like in this video. I've never done heroin, so I don't know, but it has been popular amongst one of the cases that we follow. So here we go.
I'm addicted to heroin and the streets. This is where I landed in San Francisco. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a liar. It's hard for me to lie. And that's why a lot of times people get mad at me because I don't steal and I don't have to lie. I'm 63 years old. What the fuck I got to lie about? I live on Turk Street in a doorway. Yes, in a doorway. I've lived on the streets about 20 years.
And you know, it's sad that oftentimes people reach their bottoms where they're living on a street like this. Once again, I've never lived on the streets either, but I can have empathy toward this lady. She's 63 years old and she lives on the street for 20 years. In a doorway is where she's ended up.
I am addicted to heroin. Heroin is a physical addiction. Because of the drugs, I've committed crimes. I've ended up in prison. And I mean,
Drugs has impact my life where I can't even keep an appointment. People need to know that homeless people are not just nobodies. We're educated people that had a bad, fall. You know, hey, you take a bad fall, you know, no one to help you up. It just blocks out things I don't care to deal with, and that's life, period.
And that's so true because most of the time when you've done heroin, it blocks the opiate receptors and it causes a feeling of numbness, of euphoria, and you nod off usually whenever you've done heroin, and it just takes you away from whatever pain you're trying not to feel.
My son, he was taken from me at 4. He was adopted by a very caring woman who has did nothing but hope for the best for me so that I could reunite with him.
Cold, cold, cold. I'm a legal addict, so when I was 4 years old, I was set on fire. I was playing with matches and my dress caught on fire. I stayed in the hospital for a year and I had 200 skin grafts. Up until I was like in my 30s, um, I had to go in the hospital 3 times a year for surgery for skin grafts. And so I became an addict through so many operations.
Such a tough life for some people. I don't understand how some people can have it so rough and some people can just go through life just complaining about what they have and never think of it could always get worse.
But I love my mother. After I got burned, she couldn't touch me. She never touched me again because I was burned. She claimed, I guess she was too nervous, too upset. But I don't know how a mother cannot touch their child. When something like that happens, that's when you embrace a child. I wasn't embraced. Yeah.
I actually thought pimps and whores were models. Back in the 70s, I really thought they were models. And I had made it a point, I want to be a model. And I became one. It became exciting to me. To manipulate men was something that I became addicted to first. And that's what got me using heroin in the first place because I didn't have to wear jackets. It kept my body warm. That's what I used it for at first. But it also made me feel good. I floated. I floated, yes.
Well, my mother was an alcoholic, a real one, where she dragged us all over the streets and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? To our family's house to get money. She used to pull my dress up and show everybody my burns so she can get money.
This poor woman. You know, people ask me how come I have a soft spot for individuals that hurt. Well, if you've ever known pain, and I'm not talking just gradual pain, I'm talking about intense pain. You have an understanding that sometimes you feel like you're all alone, like nobody understands you.
I used to cry. My name My nickname in my family was Skid Row. That's what everybody called me. When I went to school, they asked me what my name was, and I told them Skid Row. And my teacher was the one who had to tell me what my real name was. Coco, come back around where you was at, baby. Look, on the side of him is my knife. Can you get it?
I don't want to be hooked on nothing that controls me, you know. But I've tried many times, and I go right back. I really don't know what it is that. Well, part of it is all I know. You know, drugs and the streets is all I actually know. I've never overdosed before. You can always put more in you, but you can't take it out. So that's the rule I play by.
I do this because it's windy, and I don't want kids to walk up on me, and I definitely don't want the police. So I always put. They tell me I'm stupid and I'm scary. I'm not scary and I'm not stupid, but I'm not gonna let no children walk up on me. You know.
I'm immune to getting my shit taken. It's the way of life out here. But I also know that it came from the circle we travel into. That's the sad part about it. You know, we steal from each other.
I got hit by a car down the street. Uber hit me. He ran me over, and then he had to run me over again for me to get from up under the car. I had internal bleeding. I went to my daughter's house. She counted. She counted how many times I peed, how much water I drank. She couldn't wait to be a mother to me. You know, they both work. She's been working for FedEx driver. She's a truck driver.
What's my number? You can text me. You and your friend. What's on your best day? Let us get it in. You know, a lot of times individuals don't understand that lifestyle. They don't understand that it's really not that bad for an individual that's been living that life for a long time. It's a sense of freedom that comes with that lifestyle.
When I go somewhere to camp or sleep, I clean it up when I get there, and I clean it up when I leave because they don't need to walk down the street and see no needles and paraphernalia all over the place. You know.
My son, he already knows I love him. You know, he already knows that. And he already knows I did what I had to do so that I didn't drag him in and out of my addiction. He probably could have came up dead, got picked up the wrong thing or something. Me dragging him around from here and there.
Me and my common law husband was living in Vallejo, and we came to the city because he was on methadone. And the next morning, I took him to the methadone clinic, and he wouldn't get out the car. He wouldn't wake up. I took him to St. Francis, and he had been bleeding in 3 places in his brain. His brain was bleeding. So they operated, and he went into a coma. And I said then I wasn't going home until he went home with me. It's been over a year. And when he went into the coma, it scared me to death. I was like, the doctor said he was not going to come out the coma. I got on my knees and I prayed to God, and then I talked to him. I kept talking to him because I know sometimes they can hear. His eyes started moving. I knew he could hear me. I said, "Open up them eyes, boy. Open them up." He opened up one eye. I said, "Open up that other eye." Now, this happened in like 2 weeks, not immediately. Okay, I had to look at him with all the shit that took the bone out of his brain. And he looked at, I couldn't believe it. He scared me to death. No, he's out the coma. I was cleaning sober for 15 years until this happened. I couldn't wait to get down here to shoot some dope. I was so scared I couldn't wait. Even at the hospital, I was in the bathroom shooting dope and smoking crack. I couldn't deal with it. And I got hooked. So I'm not making any excuses for it, but I'm hooked.
And if you don't know about heroin, it's not just something that you can kick. Like just stop doing it cold turkey because your body can go into shock and it can kill you. It's a physical dependency. Many people get what they call dope sick. They have extreme withdrawal symptoms, and it's a very hard detox. Most of the time, they have to be impatient to be able to detox successfully.
The other females in my family, my mom, my aunts, they died in their 40s from cancer. So I've lived to get 62 years old. So I'm sure there's a purpose. If it's no more than me and my son reuniting, and then I just go to sleep one day and never wake up again, that would be okay.
Molly sounds like that sweet young girl next door, but her real name is EX or Ecstasy. She's old, she's been around the block, and she's not the nice gal that you think she is. Hey guys, Trace here for D News. The club drug Molly has been in the news a lot lately, what with Miley Cyrus and other pop stars singing about it, and 2 deaths at EZoo in New York over Labor Day weekend. But before we get too into this, I want to head some of you off at the pass. Molly is E. Molly is ecstasy. Molly is MDMA. Molly is a generic name for a powdered or crystallized form of MDMA or methylene dioxymethylamphetamine. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration classifies it as a Schedule I substance, which means it is highly dangerous, has no acceptable medical use, and possessing any amount of it is completely illegal. And powdered, by the way, powdered does not mean pure. MDMA was created and patented in 1914 and was famously used in the 1970s by psychotherapists due to the drug's strong effect to lower inhibitions and anxiety. In the 1980s, the drug known as E or X began hovering around the house club scene until in the 90s, it became clear that ecstasy was being cut with things far more dangerous, addictive, and toxic. Now in the 20-teens, the drug has resurfaced as Molly, in part because of the concerted effort by the drug sellers to rebrand it as purer powdered form. Let me assure you, scientists, drug users, and drug dealers alike have all gone on the record to say no, that is not true. MDMA is an amphetamine or a stimulant and a hallucinogen. MDMA alters your brain's neurochemistry, bonding with the structures that release and absorb brain chemicals associated with mood, so serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. This immediately induces feelings of euphoria, closeness, and diminished anxiety, peaking after an hour or two and usually lasting 4 to 6. Once people pass their peak, some will hit more and more to maintain that high. After the flood of chemicals abate, your serotonin receptors are just, whew.
So the sad part about ecstasy is it creates such an overheating factor in the brain that it literally, as it's been shown in brain scans, that it literally bores hole in the brain tissue, and it causes a lot of damage with your thought pattern, your ability to think straight, And it's just a very dangerous drug.
Worn out. This is manifested by a depressed mood and extreme fatigue, often a day or two later. Outside of the brain, the chemicals cause the rest of your body to go into overdrive, causing high blood pressure and body temperature or hyperthermia, which can then also cause kidney and liver failure. Often people on ecstasy drink lots of water thinking their biggest danger is dehydration, which they're kind of right. That can be bad, but too much water intake combined with lots of sweating causes blood sodium and electrolyte levels to drop, resulting in confusion, delirium, convulsions, and maybe even a stroke. The icing on this happy little cake, MDMA usually is not sold by itself. It's often cut with ketamine, LSD, speed, or anything that you crush into a white powder. In combination, these drugs are extremely toxic to the human body. Now, in its pure form, its pure form, MDMA is relatively safe as drugs go, but it can be habit forming because as your neurons become immune to large amounts of serotonin, it requires more drugs to get the same high. Overall, deaths from this old gal are pretty rare, though since 2004, the number of hospital visits have more than doubled to around 20,000 a year. So does knowing all this make you think twice about trying it? Let me know, and thanks for watching D News today. Stay safe out there, everybody.
So, there I gave you two drugs that have been highly spoken about in the Idaho 4 case. I hope it gave you some kind of insight as far as the dangers of these chemicals and exactly what it's all about. So y'all have a wonderful night, and I will see you soon. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? If you can't, get a bigger shovel. Maestro, give us some music.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we